Hi, in this lesson we're introducing transient command buffers. Let me first explain what I'm talking about. By now you've only seen one command buffer which we use for rendering our graphics. It is allocated from the command pool and it is allocated once. Each frame we reset this buffer and use it to record our draw commands. Now that we started working with memory, we would like to also record and execute commands that are not part of the rendering. Essentially, in the next videos, we would like to tell the GPU to copy some host accessible memory into its own internal memory that is not accessible by the CPU. So to execute these memory commands separately from rendering, we would need a command buffer. And this command buffer's life is not long, it is just needed for a copy command. So similar to the begin and end commands for the graphics, I would write a begin transient command buffer and end transient command buffer. The first function will return the command buffer handle. The second will accept that handle. I copy both of these signatures in the CPP file, and I quickly create bodies for them. Now, we will need the command buffer allocate info. You've seen this one before. I set the S type, and the level is again primary. The command pool would be the same pool. And let's not forget to make these functions part of the graphics object. We're going to request a single buffer. Then I have here a local variable for the command buffer handle. And ask the command pool to allocate us the buffer from the buffer info. We will then create a command buffer begin info. Set the S type of that info object. We set the flags of the begin info that will be a one-time submit buffer. And we call the begin command buffer function with the command buffer and begin info. Finally, we return the buffer. The end is pretty easy. We call the end command buffer, create a submit info object, set the S type of course, set the command buffer count that we are submitting, the address to our buffer, and finally call a queue submit. As I have told you previously, our graphics queue will support memory commands, so we pass in the graphics queue and fill in the rest of the arguments. We can then ensure that the command buffer is done by waiting the queue to be idle. And finally, we can free the command buffer since it was transient. We're no longer going to use it.